Good morning, people. I'm in the orchard this afternoon. Well, it's kind of late morning. Super muggy today. But I wanted to talk about two things. The first thing are pollinators. So if you're going to have an orchard, you need pollinators. And I'm of the firm belief that when you drive down the road and you look at the side of the road and you look at, fields and stuff, there's always something blooming after the dandelions come. So if you have a yard that only has something that blooms for, say, a month, which is pretty much a long bloom period, especially for the annuals that most people like, if your pollinators come, they're going to leave once there's nothing there for them to eat. So they're not going to stay. If you have a place where there's always something blooming, always something with pollinators in it, you're going to have pollinators. And when you have a lot of pollinators, you have a lot of fruit, and you have a lot of vegetables, and you have a lot of beautiful flowers that can go to seed and spread. I'm a huge proponent of perennials and native perennials. Anything that I like that can grow, like daisies, go like crazy here. I don't do anything with them. I let them go. Brown-eyed Susans, I love those. They're one of my favorites. I will plant some once I move on to flowers. I have not been planting much in way of flowers because for me, I'm more focused on the fruit in my orchard and my garden for feeding us than I am for the beauty of it right now. I did break down and buy the echinacea, as you can see. But echinacea is medicinal. That's how I told myself it was okay. So I did plant a lot of echinacea. I have some in the flower garden. Oh, hi, Jack. I got him! Get out of the way, Jack. Go on. Jack, stop. Jack has a hissy fit if he's inside and I'm outside. So that's one thing I want you to think about when you're planting your gardens or you're planting your... Here come all the other dogs. Hi, Jaeger. So that one's Jaeger. And here comes Phoebe. Hi, Phoebes. So that's another thing you need to think about. Is if you have a lot of like weedy areas like on the excess or like this right here, let it go. I know it looks weedy, but just let it go because it's good for you to have weeds in your garden. So we have ever-bearing strawberries. My husband just found some. Other thing I wanted to talk to you about, suckers. So this is peach or pear, can't remember. Forgot to tag it. So when you get in here, and you don't want, I just told you to leave stuff grow, not at the base of your trees. They want an uncompetitive spot where they don't have to compete. Even with grass, you don't, and there's a snail, squish it. So that's why hence the wood chips are supposed to help. No, I don't mind the echinacea because it's almost like a tree guild, which is what I'm trying to grow, is where you have trees and under trees that grow well. So when you look at this tree, you see all this new growth here? It looks really good, doesn't it? You're like, oh, look at how well my tree's growing. But I want you to come down here and look at where it's growing at. So you see right here, this right here, pull back so you can see my finger. This right here is where they grafted this tree onto rootstock. Flies. I hate it when they crawl on me. So anything that grows from the ground that's part of the tree, or like this, you can see down there, see how it's not part of the tree? This is a sucker. You do not want these suckers. Suckers are not pears. They could be a pear stalk, but 99% of the time, they are not going to give you pears. And what they do, the reason they're called suckers, is because they come in. I'll take those to the goats. And here's another one, a little one. They come in and they suck all the nutrients and all the good stuff away from the tree that you want that's going to fruit. Now, I'd prefer not to have my trees on rootstock because of this purpose. I suspect this is a pear tree because all the pear trees I've ever had have had suckers. Now move up here. Look at this one. You see how this is coming? Now this is above where we grafted. See the graft? You could tell by the marks. If you look right here, you see this little indentation here? That was the root. Let me see if I can. There we go. You can see right there where this was the rootstock, and then this is growing over it. This is what you want. So anything above that, you'll leave this. These are going to be beautiful branches as they get taller. And I'll have more fruit on this tree. Because these right here. Not suckers. Below your graft, suckers. Trim them out. Do not let them live. They will suck all the nutrients out of your tree. And you don't have to trim them every week. I mean, this is the first time I've trimmed. I've got to trim the other one. So I'll get into that and I'll do that later. But I wanted to show you, talk about the pollinators. And then I want to talk about the suckers. I came out and I was watering and I saw the sucker and I go, ooh, I should make a video on that. Super duper important, especially on a lot of your fruit trees. If they're on a grafted rootstock, normally they do that to keep them dwarf. So you don't have like an 80-foot tall pear tree. I mean, I suppose you could if you wanted. I don't have room right here in this little orchard. I need them to be shorter than that. So, but that is what it's for. So trim your suckers. If you don't, the tree that's grafted on will die. They will take over, and a lot of people don't realize that when they plant them, and then they go, oh, look how well it's growing, and then they, 20 years later, I've got one in the backyard. It was a grafted apple tree, and they let the suckers grow, so the suckers are there. It looks more like a shrub that got big, and there's no apples on it because it killed the tree that was grafted onto it, and now it's just a non-fruit bearing stock. Your non-fruit bearing stock is sturdier and hardier normally than your fruit stock, and that's why they grafted on there. So look out for suckers, prune them, and good luck in your orchards. It's been a good year for my orchard. I was really worried. I thought I lost everything, and they're little because the wind killed them, but that cherry tree's doing phenomenal. That one, not as well. That one's more native. That one's supposed to grow here. We'll see. But this year I'm going to wrap them in burlap or plastic of some sort to try and protect them from the wind. So I'll make a video on that too. So have a good day, guys. Good luck in your orchards. Bye.